You're listening to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a business coach for online health coaches who want to attract their ideal clients, stop feeling defeated by their never-ending to-do list, balance a healthy lifestyle with their growing business, and stop over-analyzing what everybody thinks of them so that they can confidently own their message and online presence. On this podcast, we dive deep into health information you can share with your clients, business strategy tips, and more. Let's get to it. Tonight, I wanted to come on to talk to you guys about 7 tips that I have for coaches in particular. If you are new to coaching and you're really trying to do your best and you want to see success, but you're not quite there yet, or maybe you've had some things happen where you feel a little discouraged, because I know that it can be super common when you are starting your coaching business to have a lot of uncertainty and a lot of things that you have to test and things that may or may not go right and you're just not sure, things you want guidance on. And part of what I do as a business coach for health coaches is provide that structure, that clarity, that accountability for them, and make sure they have guidance as they're creating their copy, as they're creating their posts, as they're creating their landing pages, they're creating their first program or package, or even a live challenge on Facebook and things like that. And tonight I'm going to, like I said, dive into those tips to prevent crashing and burning, and for you as a coach to play the long game and succeed. Because if you hang in there long enough, you cannot fail. So let's get to tip number 1, and that is you are not going to love every single aspect of your business. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, and I'm sharing this tip so that you don't come in with the wrong expectations and give up, or come in with a bad attitude, because there are things in my business that I don't particularly enjoy doing. And I think we live in an age where a lot of coaches online who are business coaches, and a lot of people in general who we see on social media who are influencers and things like that, they act like 110% of the time in their business they're having amazing time. It's so much fun. They're traveling the world. They're sitting on a beach. And while it is possible when you're an online coach and you scale your business properly and you have, your business systems in place to get more freedom, that's not the reality in the beginning. That's not how it usually starts out. So it's really important to just go in with the mindset that yes, there are going to be parts of any job you choose that you don't love, and you're just going to have to learn them in the beginning. You're going to have to test things out, and eventually maybe it's something you can outsource or get an assistant for. But it's really important as a coach and as the overseer of your business to know a general idea of how to do everything, so that when you do outsource it, you can know if the person's doing a good job, you can hire the right quality people. It's so important, because what I see oftentimes is people come to me saying, I really do want a business coach, but at the same time, I think I could also spend that money on outsourcing. And I say, I completely agree. I'm all about outsourcing. But at the same time, do you know how to write your copy? Do you know what to look for in a good virtual assistant? Because you know how to do things in your business, meaning do you know how to train them and how to tell them to schedule your posts and things like that. So it's very important that you don't get the blanket pulled over your head because you don't know how to do something and you outsource something before you know a general idea of what is good criteria to look for. So the point I'm trying to make is, it's important to learn things. It's important to know that it's not going to always be rainbows and butterflies, and that's okay. And as you've always seen those memes about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, where there's ups and downs and highs and lows and great months and great bad months and high launches and not so good launches, same thing for us. Now, it can go a lot faster and be a lot better when you do have a coach and you're not shooting in the dark. One of my mistakes was taking too long to
realize that and taking too long to invest in myself and invest in a coach to help me. But eventually I learned and it worked out for the best. So if you're here, comment and say hello. I'll be able to see the comments for sure tonight. I know in the past I've had issues seeing them, but I'm doing it on my phone tonight. And now let's move on to tip number 2, which is give yourself a fair chance when you're testing something. So this has to do with anytime you're trying a new marketing tactic or you're just starting to get consistent on social media. I've seen this whole thing about I did one post, where's the clients? Why is it taking so long? And I think it's really important anytime you are a coach and doing your thing in business to give yourself a fair chance to test something out for a certain amount of time. So identify a certain amount of time you're going to be really focused on one thing and go for it and see what's happening, what the response is. And then from there, you can make a fair evaluation of whether it's working or not. But don't go into something and do a million things and post one thing on social media and just expect everybody to start being your number one fan. The people who succeed in the online coaching space are the people who are consistent, the people who gain trust by doing one thing over and over again. People might have to hear your message up to 7 times before finally understand what you do. Never gain the expectation that when you do something once or you do something for a week that it's just going to change the game for you. You have to go in playing the long game and testing things out fairly and evaluating fairly. So give yourself a fair chance to see things through. And at the same time, don't beat yourself up if only after one day of posting you're not seeing results. Let's move, and it doesn't have to just do with social media posting. I'm talking more about after one call with somebody and you didn't book a client, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. Just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean you're failing. And just because you don't, love every aspect of your business, that also doesn't mean you're failing. Let's move on to tip number 3 to prevent crashing and burning in your health coaching business and playing the long consistency game. The third tip is, are you leveraging what you have? And this is what I mean by this is if you are saying, I want to have a YouTube channel, I want to have a podcast, I want to have a blog, I want to be consistent posting on Instagram every day. I would say pick so you can always repurpose your content, meaning you can always take an Instagram post and post the same thing on your Facebook page. But when it comes to things that are more time consuming, like writing a blog or starting a YouTube channel that is ranking or starting a podcast, I would say in your first 2 years of business, commit to only one first, and then you can later expand. So the main thing that we want to see is consistency. The main thing that your audience wants to see is consistency. You want to be known for doing that one thing. You want to be known for that podcast. You want to be known for that YouTube channel. And when you spread yourself too thin in the beginning months and 2 years of your business, doing all of those things, it's harder to be consistent with it. So as you can probably tell, the theme of tonight is consistency. So if you have some struggles with consistency, I would say a few things. Number 1, check out my blog, haileyrowe.com/procrastination. And number 2, book a free strategy call with me to talk about how you can follow through in your business and start to see some results from being consistent. All right, let's move on to tip number 4, and that is just because, I kind of already covered this one. So it was going back to just because something isn't going well yet doesn't mean you're failing. Because oftentimes what I see from clients when I'm talking to them, they're saying something like, I've had 3 calls and nobody's booked, or I've posted every day this week and I've still not seen any people engaging on my posts or something like that. And I always say, like I said, it takes a little time. You got to build some traction. And at the same time, it's always still a good thing because you can learn what's not working. So if you had 3 calls and nobody signed up, you got to ask why. Why are they not signing up? What's going on? And you have 3 opportunities to learn what's not working and change it for the next time. So very important to remember, you're not failing if you're not where you want to be yet. It just takes a little bit of learning, and it takes a little bit of guidance from a coach, and it takes a little bit of consistency. Tip number 5 is sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. So today, for example, I was supposed to do like 12 different things that were very important. Did I get to all of them so far? No. And the reason is because I need to regroup and re-strategize and slow down first before I'm able to get these things done, because there's a lot of pre-work that I didn't expect or anticipate that I'm now realizing I have to do before I get these other things done. So, and another example, just today, I had a call with somebody and he said, should I be, while I'm trying to figure out my niche and really how to speak to my target market, should I be, not posting on social media meanwhile and not doing all my other things that I usually do just so I can bang this out? And I said, well, it depends. It's up to you. If you feel like you'll feel more confident going back to posting and doing all the things you normally do after you do this foundational work, then I would say take a pause from it. It's okay. You're not Kim Kardashian. You don't have 3 million people waiting to hear from you. They probably won't notice if you go off social media for like 2 to 3 days, right? Versus if you feel that you'll lose your momentum, or you feel like it doesn't really take that much time to do both, then do both. So it's very important to remember that sometimes in order to really accelerate our business, we do need to take the time to set up systems and slow down and build the foundations and get clear on our niche and do the market research and go offline for a few days, because we have to really focus on something that long term is going to have much greater impact on our business and the way things run that we need to take care of. Now, if you are still with me, or if you're watching the replay, please say hi, and please do let me know what you struggle with in your business, especially if you are new and it's less than 2 years old. I know that period of time can be a lot of learning. And let's move on to the next tip, which is, if something is not working, so let's say you have given it a fair chance. You've been testing something out for 3 months and it's not working clearly. Reminder to change your inputs to change the outputs, because what happens a lot of times is you just keep running yourself down and doing the same thing and never pausing, slowing down to learn from it, and before you speed up, that you just burn out and you stop doing what you're doing and you quit, because you think that just because that one method didn't work, nothing else is going to work. So I would suggest, obviously all of these tips can really apply to any business or whatever goals you have, but it's very important to reevaluate and change your inputs to change the end results and what you're going to get out of it. So I'm very big on reflecting, taking the time to do those things, and not thinking that it's dumb to slow down before you speed up. And the last tip is to not be worried about getting everything right in the beginning. So you don't have to stick to your niche for the rest of your life. It's not that serious. You don't have to launch the perfect website with the most beautiful design ever in the first round of it. You don't have to nail every single social media post, and if it doesn't get enough engagement, you're a piece of crap. Not true. So give yourself full permission to bomb some things, to learn some things as you go, to put out a test version of something, to run something by a certain potential client before you launch an entire group program or things like that. Definitely give yourself the opportunity to bomb some things and not succeed at some things, because the best lessons oftentimes come from those things. And when you're early in the game and you don't have a big audience, that's the best time to make some small errors and learn from them, versus when you have a huge audience, you've already built something really strong, and you've never tested things out, and you're just kind of hoping that nobody notices, and you know, I don't know, you don't want to, let me rephrase this. You don't want to put yourself in a bad position in which you didn't test things in the beginning. So then later, when things have already built a lot of momentum, you realize that you've been building the wrong thing. So be okay with making mistakes in the beginning, and you'll always make mistakes in your business as you continue to grow. It'll be with newer things and bigger things as you grow, but that's just part of the game. So you have to learn how to overcome your challenges the best way possible, how to have a very quick bounce back rate, and of course, realize that you're not failing if you're making mistakes, you are learning. So let me know what you think of this video, and let me know if you have any other questions. And if you'd like to book a free strategy call, you can email me or message me, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Want to hear more shows? Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Get your free habits guide at HaileyRowe.com, and remember that any advice given on the show does not substitute for medical advice from your healthcare professional. Talk to you guys soon.